Fantastic Four plot leak breakdown. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Cosmic Culture, the channel where we talk all things major movie and television news, theories, breakdowns, and much, much more. The topic of today's video, the Fantastic Four and their potential entrance into the MCU, is one I'm very, very excited about, because the theory that I had several months ago about how the Fantastic Four very well could enter the MCU might be backed up today by an actual inside scooper, Daniel RPK, who, if you're not familiar with, has an outstanding record for his inside scoops, trailer date predictions, and other connections within the studio. So this is one of the sources on the channel who I like to use because they're very, very believable intel. So seeing that several months ago when I talked about this on the channel, it was just a theory, something I made up because I thought it would be a cool way to introduce the Fantastic Four into the MCU. Having this come out from Daniel RPK, which we're about to go over in just a second, just a little patience, we'll get there, is really exciting. So I'm going to take what he said and kind of pair it with my theory because it'll be a lot of fun. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and turning on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of the other major movie and television news updates happening here daily on the channel. You can also follow me on my other socials, Instagram at Chris M. Rosser and Twitter at TheCultureChris. Links to both of those are in the description down below. Okay, before you guys go down and comment how long I'm taking to get to it, a minute and 43 seconds into the video, here's what Daniel RPK had to say. Marvel Studios' upcoming Fantastic Four will be set in the past 60s. They will be a team out of time. Neither Kang nor Adum is the villain. Kang will be in the movie, but he's there to connect the group to the two Avengers movies. It's not strictly an origin story, but we'll see. So, I do want to address that this description of what we might be getting in the first Fantastic Four movie gives me an idea of two plots. One, the original plot that I had theorized, which I'll talk about, and then another one that also is a really, really good idea, and not something that I had considered before reading this inside scoop. We'll start with my theory because I know that one really well. I kind of made it up. Let's just imagine that in the quantum realm during the 60s, the Fantastic Four, a group of very intelligent scientists, friends, and family members, got stuck in the quantum realm. They're very intelligent scientists, this we know. They even introduced Reed Richards in Universe 838 as the smartest man alive. So that, the smartest man alive, and his friends get trapped in the quantum realm in about the 60s and end up being released or brought back into the main MCU timeline during Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, or it's at least kind of given to us as information that they're there in a post-credit scene, some type of Easter egg, a silhouette, a voice, however it be. So the Fantastic Four movie can be their journey in the quantum realm during that time from the 60s to the present, 2020s, where time goes really, really quickly because they're in the quantum realm, as we learned with Scott Lang, who was stuck in the quantum realm for what he says was 5 hours, but in reality was 5 years. So they didn't age, they developed their powers, just like we saw with Janet Van Dyne. And this really could be the origin story of the Fantastic Four. They developed their powers in the quantum realm, not from a nebulous cloud that ran through the space station and gave them all genetic mutations, but from the quantum realm, which is a similar concept and gets us to the same point. Would it be a little different? Yes, but Kevin Feige likes spicing things up. The other really good explanation for this is, where were the Fantastic Four the whole time? It seems like we don't have enough time to introduce the whole group. Also, we want to do something fresh, something different, kind of like what we saw with Spider-Man, whose origin story had been told so many times in different renditions of his movies that Kevin Feige figured we could skip it. People know, gets bit by a spider, the whole story. This is the same with the Fantastic Four. This is a group that's had several movies made in the last 20 years. People are familiar with their story. So if we were to skip the deep-rooted origin story and just kind of jump into where are they now, how do they enter the MCU, I think people would A, be satisfied with that, and B, completely be able to follow along. It would make a lot of sense. Where were the Fantastic Four this whole time? Well, they were stuck in the quantum realm, and no, they didn't get out the same time Ant-Man did. He never met him. but they have a connection to Kang, which is also in this rumor coming from Daniel RPK, and that's how they're going to kind of be brought into the main MCU timeline, trying to help defeat Kang in the Kang Dynasty after their movie comes out. Love this idea. It was the original idea I had, but the scoop does kind of word things in a very specific way. That Kang is going to be in this movie specifically to connect them to the Avengers. He says he will be in the movie, but he's there to connect the group to the two Avengers movies. It's not strictly an origin movie, but we'll see. So it's possible that the Fantastic Four haven't really been spoken about, but were around in the 60s and are going to be recruited by chasing Kang into the quantum realm and potentially from there time jumping into our timeline, and that's where they come from. So kind of a time travel thing, but not necessarily a multiversal traveling thing. It was in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness when Doctor Strange looked at Reed Richards from Universe 838 and said, "Didn't you used to chart in the 60s?" I said that this was an Easter egg to the Fantastic Four, and I got a lot of crap in that video in the comment section about how no, it was just a reference to a band, the Fantastic Four, which was a real group at the time. But I think that maybe charting was kind of a hidden word, and he's talking specifically about the scientists who were charting. Not charting as in a music chart, but charting as in gathering data and information, potentially from the quantum realm, and Doctor Strange would know this because he's kind of super smart and in tune with all the supernatural things. This is still a very strict possibility, and I haven't given up on that possibility or the potential for this being a reference to Doctor Strange knowing that in the 60s the Fantastic Four, Reed Richards and company, existed, which he displayed when he saw Reed Richards in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. It is actually a very simple connection, and now with the scoop coming from Daniel RPK that in the 60s existed the Fantastic Four, and either they were trapped in the quantum realm and will escape somewhere around the Ant-Man Quantumania period, or they go into the quantum realm to chase after Kang and end up connecting in the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars movie. I'm happy with either of those. We don't necessarily need a whole origin story, and I think that whatever team we get in the MCU of the Fantastic Four is going to be cared for with immaculate detail. So there's not really too much worry for me about whether or not their story will come across well. All I really don't want is for them to be a group from the multiverse, from a different universe, that just kind of shows up with Doctor Strange to fight at the end. I want them to be from the sacred timeline, our Fantastic Four specifically. It's a special timeline. Yes, the multiverse is open. There are lots of different universes. We're about to see Deadpool join with all the Fox X-Men, and all these different aspects, but I still want our specific Fantastic Four, and I'm curious to see how they bring them from the 60s into the 2020s. Very, very interesting theory, and I love to hear these insiders coming from somebody as reliable as Daniel RPK, because it gets me excited. These are good inside sources, so definitely worth talking about in today's video. Let me know what you think though. What do you think about this inside scoop? And what do you think about the two theories now that I have connected to it? One being my very own from a few months ago, and one being that the Fantastic Four are chasing after Kang, and this is their connection to the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. Trying to grow an awesome community, and we have been for quite some time now. Turn on that notification bell so you don't miss out on any of our other videos. And I'll catch you guys on the next one right here on Cosmic Culture.